Mark Pallet, the manager of Elphicks Fisheries. Born and bred in Kent, up at the Gravesend area, but moved down here 2007. Took over the lakes early 2007 from a Robert Barr, the local farmer. He had it built for his son, and his son moved on. It's a bit too much for the farmer to do, so we stepped in and bought that from him. A lot of work. Obviously farming, there's not a great deal of money in it for them to upkeep it, so first jobs for us were just to get in and tidy it really. Main challenges were overgrown, too many trees around the lakes, water quality was poor because we didn't have any reeds, they'd all died off. So by removing the trees, let the wind in, we spent a lot of money planting, getting plants in, which basically were the lungs of the water, they filter it, clean it. Especially when you're overstocked, you need a natural filter system to help everything out. That was our main job to start with, was just clearing it, making the swims fishable and just to get water quality back. Fish stocks were quite overstocked. I think the biggest fish on the complex was in the 40s on North Lake. I believe there was 2 40s in there. Pullens and West End, the other specialty lakes at the time. Again, 1 or 2 just touching 40s. Other than that, the main runs waters were just massively overstocked. So the carp were all sort of mid-teens to 20s, but what we call cricket bats, needed feeding. Just it was easy to fish, just run a chuck really. My first introduction fishing was bleak fishing on the River Thames on my grandfather's boat up at Maidenhead. Hours and hours just pulling thousands of the buggers out. Yeah. But that, good fun. Looks quite easy. Greeting the anglers, walking around, making sure everything's clean and tidy. Main job is before anybody's here, check the lakes for water quality, oxygen, anything like that. And then, again, just be back down the bottom, meet and greet, sort any problems out that might be going on. Quite lucky here with the clientele. Don't really get any trouble at all, very friendly. Lots of things get sorted out without the bailiffs. But that's basically it, and buying stock, trying to sell stuff, trying to get things at a decent price and not get ripped off so we don't have to rip everybody else off. That's it really. We fishery managers probably December, January, February, and then come March, gardeners. It's just trying to make the place look pretty really. Enjoying about Elphicks. There's a lot of characters that come to Elphicks, that's quite amusing. Countryside, can't beat it. Being outdoors, wouldn't want anything different. But I don't know really, I mean, I am a big fisherman, but taking something on like this, you don't fish. But now you get in friendly with anglers that are here, you get joined groups, so you start fishing again. It's more just going fishing with other people. No, it's like a lot of things. You do a lot of fishing and then a busman holiday comes along. So, you just don't have time for it. There's always something going on and you can't be bothered. I only live 30 feet from North Lake, but it's still a chore to get your gear out. So that's the reason you just don't fish. And eventually you'll get a group you get friendly with, they invite you on, and then you're with different people, so you get to go again. Oh, who inspires me? Nobody. I like to just think I'm not upsetting too many people by inflicting, putting out there what we like to be done here. But I wouldn't say anybody out there really inspires me. I've got respect for a lot of people, but I'm a bit arrogant. I like to do things my way. I think that's the only way it works. Yes, our bench, Tony Lindner. Used to work with us when we was in the construction industry before we bought the fishery. So we had the 2 businesses running together. Tony would come down part-time, really nice guy. Nothing was too much for him, help you out 24/7. Unfortunately, cancer took him away a bit too early, so we thought we'd put a bench up for him, and actually, you know, really missed. Oh, favourite lake? Probably West End for the challenge in the weed. Pullens other than that, just because it's quiet up the back there. You know, it's a bit hard to get on because we're booked out all the time. Thanks to Swimbooker now it's getting harder, but you know, I prefer to be up there. And the fish quality up there is no different to the other lakes north. And Prairie the same, that's coming on well, but you just got a bigger number of fish for head of lake. A little bit harder, but it's just where it is, it's just quiet up there out the way. Favourite swim? No. Different places, different time of year really. Weather, wind. A lot of these lakes, wind can play a big part of it. So, you know, I'd say to anybody coming here, don't change anything. Fish exactly how you normally fish, but just look at the weather, bait-wise, anything. Just fish normally, but follow the weather. That's all. June. A reason for shutting in June. We decided this year to shut June. Basically, we're so busy. There's a lot of work that needs doing. It won't look like we've done much because it's sort of background work, but if we do it in June, it's dry, the machines can work, the lads are quite happy, and fingers crossed, it'll tie in with all the spawning through the complex. So where we're busy, the fish are just going to get hammered. So they just need, it's only 3-4 weeks, so it's not a lot through a year, but it's just something. So we decided June would be good. That's basically the reason we shut, purely for maintenance, but to tie it in with a bit of spawning. Just to, you know, there's a lot of money out there and big fish that are old fish, and they just need to be looked after really. The stock. Biggest fish 2007. Oh, I think it was low 40s, but now it's a strange thing because a lot of anglers don't agree with it. We destock quite often. Less fish in the lake, happier fish, and they'll feed. So it won't be a prolific place to come and, you know, you can go other places and throw your hook in and get a fish every chuck. Here you have to work at it a little bit because it's not overstocked. Since we've done that with the reeds, getting the water quality back, North Lake now has gone on to hold, I would say at the right time of year, 550s, biggest 55 something. Backing that up is probably around 40 plus 40s. We do a chipping system here, or scheme, whatever you want to call it. So we microchip the bigger fish, and alone we've chipped over 130s. So, and then plantation, I would say 4210 was the biggest. That's a bit overstocked with silvers, so that's probably down. So we're probably just touching around a 40-pound bracket in there. There's two commons in there at 39 at the moment. Again, good head of 20s backing it up. And then into prairie, there's a 40 common, a 40 mirror. Probably something like 40 plus 30s now, maybe more, backed up by maybe 80 to 120s. Again, probably that lake will do a bit of a destocking. Now the fish are established and they're getting their weights, we'll probably move on to destock the lower fish and then allow them to grow bigger to catch up with the other lakes. Then we go into sandwich and kettles, hold 30s, but that's a 2 rods runs, Walter. That's a day, you know, you could have a great bit of sport on there, high mid-teens as an average, good head of 20s, but somewhere in that bracket is where you're going to be fishing. And then the top two, Pullens Lake, again 450s. There's been 2 out of 57, one just come out of 58.14, so they're very close to hitting the 60 bracket, but again they could be carrying a fair bit of spawn, but we won't know till back end of the year to what weight they are. Again, there's 550s in there, probably 1040s in Pullens, again 30 odd 30s backing that up, and then into West End again 4 to 5 50s again at 55, possibly more 40s in there, maybe 30 odd 40s in there, and then I don't know, maybe in 50 30s. Very, very unlucky if you get anything in the 20 bracket in those two ponds. Out of the blue, popped in. We're not Mr. Technic here, but I could see the advantages in it. and being lazy, obviously we didn't want to do a great deal of it. We're all far too old for that. But very enthusiastic, took it all on, did everything for us, filming, getting the booking system running. So a really good experience, really. You know, we wouldn't have done it otherwise. We'd still be on pen and paper and phone calls. But you know, we're really happy with what's gone on. Yes, the January the 1st and 2nd rush. Yeah, people used to queue. We'd open up at 7 o'clock on January the 2nd, and people were already queuing from maybe 8 o'clock on January the 1st to sleep overnight. We'd probably have possibly 70 to 80 cars by opening, which was okay, but the last few years, because of the new road out the front, the cars are now queuing on the main drag on the 262 on a blind bend, so not the place to be at midnight when you've got half a dozen or more cars queued on there. So it's sort of saved us the grief of meeting Mr. Policeman in that saying that that's not good enough. So it's probably, it'll make that life a bit easier. And being on Swimbooker now, if you can't get here, you've got a good chance of getting on, sitting indoors on the computer. It's going to be very busy. You're going to have to be quick on the keys. But for you, I would say a lot easier to get on the booking. Yeah, fish somewhere else. Yeah, we fish the Erridge Estate, nice little syndicate there. 300-year-old estate or more, so lovely place. Always looking for members. You can find that on Facebook, I think, somewhere. Redlands Fisheries, we had something to do with that down at Paddock Wood. That's a lovely holiday complex. You know, a lot of people around here fish here, so should look that up. £40 carp in there, touching the 50s as well. So nice. You can only hire that for the week. But other than that, no. It's too much going on to be away. You know, I couldn't always find a nice group that might just take me in. To finish up then, I suppose really we should just thank everybody that's been there. A really good clientele that we get. I mean, we've got bins and stuff about, but you'll see very little litter here. Everybody, or 99% of the people, will keep the facilities clean. The toilets, you wouldn't believe, they're probably nearly 15 years old, but nearly looking new. So, you know, we'd just like to thank everybody that comes, puts up with us moody bailiffs at times, but, you know, we'd just like to say thanks for looking after the place and using us.